finally number 10 on our list. And Ty. Noah Fifita is Mike's guy. He didn't make either of our lists, Rick. And we had Garrett Nussmeier. Noah Fifita is the Arizona quarterback. You're looking at his stats here. Had a really good season last year. And then Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU didn't play except for one game in the bowl game last year. Had a pretty good go of it in place of Jane Daniels. He's 8 on mine list, 10th on your list, Rick. So let's start with Noah Fifita. Since, Mike, you watched him. He made your list. We all watched him. What are your thoughts on the smallish, if you will, quarterback out of U of A?
Smallish is putting a kind. I mean, he's about Bryce Young size, right? And that's the concern. That's why you're not, seeing him on your guys' top 10 list. And I completely get it. It's a big thing. But I thought he lit it up in that Arizona offense, and especially that Oklahoma Bowl game was real, like, high end in terms of how light he is on his feet. The guy is easy at avoiding pressure. He can make plays in that regard. And then he's got a big arm. For a guy who's that size, he can really rip it. When you see him hit far hash outs and things of that nature, indistinguishable from a lot of the guys we've talked about on this list who are, 6'4", 220. And he can do that at probably like 5'10", 200. So you see that. I think he's aggressive with the football. Does have a tendency to airmail. Obviously only came in when Jane DeLore got hurt and obviously stole the job from him there. So hasn't had even a full season to play. So there's that going against him. But I just thought there was a playmaking instinct to him that I want to see more of this next season.
Rick, you watched him too, right?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of him. He reminded me of, but I do agree, he probably has a stronger arm. And why I didn't put him on a list, because he ended up being a free agent. He got hurt, but he knows how to play the position. Was the kid that came out of Florida State last year.
Oh.
Where he has that unique playmaking ability, just has like eyes in the back of his head and just has a unique instinct. But the size really concerned me. But I thought that kid, he ended up being a free agent. Who was, what was his name?
Jordan Travis?
He was drafted by the Jets.
Yeah, he went like 5th round.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So he got drafted.
Okay, the Florida State kid. Yeah, that's who he reminded me of a little bit on the way he plays a position.
Yeah. He might be shorter than Bryce Young, which is a huge concern as an NFL quarterback. But he is dynamic. And he was throwing the ball to a guy who's probably 3 feet taller, as we'll talk about, T-Mac McMillan, who's a fun receiver, 6'5". I think one of the highest recruited.
Put him on your list, Mike. He's going to be in the top 5 receivers.
Yeah, that's right.
Easier.
That's right. That's the other thing, Mike. I love every player, and Rick makes fun of me about that. I do want to see more from Noah, but I get it. He's still early in the process. Some of the things he did, sometimes he's a little late on deep throws. He was sporadic with deep ball accuracy for me. But whatever, he can get better at those things. That's just part of the reason why he was just outside. I think I had him 13th when I watched all these players. All right, Rick, let's talk about our guy who made the list, snuck in at number 10 there, Garrett Nussmeier. Now, Bud Elliott, who is with the Cover 3 podcast, turned me on to Garrett after this most recent draft, and we talked about him a few times since there. I'm guessing you watched the bowl game because there wasn't much else to watch.
No, and then I just pulled up Wisconsin. He was 31 of 45, 395 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Looked like he really had command of the offense. I think this kid knows how to play the position. Again, pretty good pedigree coming from his father, Doug. Not a dynamic athlete, not a dynamic arm, but I do think he can get through his progressions. I think he places the ball where receivers get an opportunity to make plays. And if he flashed like he flashed in that one game against Wisconsin. Now, Malik played in that game, which I gave him a lot of credit for, going out and playing in that game.
Oh, he did play in that game?
Did Malik play in that game?
I saw some guy making plays. I said, there's no way that Malik's out there.
He played just to break a record, an LSU record, and then he turned it off.
Cut it down, but he played. I gave him credit for going out there and playing.
Good for Malik.
But I think if this kid can do what he did in that Wisconsin game a full season, he may be climbing up some draft boards.
What do you think draft range wise right now, I guess, at least?
I have him in the fifth, sixth round. I have him as just because it's basically you're going off of one game.
Yep. I had him early day 3. What's your comp, Rick?
Right now, I put Davis Mills.
That sounds like a Ryan Wilson comp. I'm going to be kind to you. My comp is much better. My comp was Colt McCoy.
Yeah.
Ah, so you didn't hate it.
Yeah.
You didn't have a visceral reaction. What'd you have for
it's time to wrap up the podcast. So I'm not going to sit here and rant and rave about another horse.
All right. Well, so you have one more thing to rant and rave about. Mike, what do you have for Noah Fifita as a draft range / comp?
I mean, right now he's probably late day 3. Comp is Bryce Young just because of the size, but like, there's really not a lot of guys at that size doing it. So
you said Jordan
not a
Travis.
good start to Bryce Young.
I said Jordan.
Yeah,
I said Jordan Travis.
Yeah, Jordan's not 5'11". My comp is another A+ comp, Seneca Wallace. Stone-faced or Mike laughing from Rick. I'll take that as a victory. I'm trying to think. Let's say he's sub 5'10". Are you drafting him as a quarterback, Rick, in any round?
He's a free agent.
If he's sub 5'10"?